Santee Cooper, meeting the growing energy needs of the 21st century while protecting the environment and natural heritage of South Carolina through its innovative Santee Cooper Green programs. Santee Cooper Green presents Living Green. There's no question that a cool coastal breeze can make a hot summer day in South Carolina a little more comfortable. But could it also be a source of power? In a press conference this week, the South Carolina Department of Energy, Santee Cooper, and Coastal Carolina University announced Palmetto Wind, a new study examining the possibilities for offshore wind energy in South Carolina. Over the next year, 6 buoys placed off the Horry and Georgetown County coasts will gather wind data. Coastal Carolina students will then analyze the information to determine if offshore wind energy is an option for the Palmetto State. After 6 months of research, Santee Cooper will have a better idea of where to install a taller wind tower to further examine the profile of offshore wind. John Clark, the director of the South Carolina Energy Office, addressed what the Palmetto Wind Project could mean for the state, the environment, the economy, and the growing demand for green-collar jobs.
South Carolina spends $20 billion a year on energy. $20 billion a year. We don't produce any fuel in South Carolina. We don't produce any coal, any oil, any natural gas, any uranium. So when we buy fuel, most of that money leaves the state. What we would like to do is to begin to keep more of that money in South Carolina, benefiting South Carolinians. And we can do that with renewable energy like offshore wind. We could become, here on the coast of South Carolina, we could become the hub of the southeastern renewable energy industry. And what we're talking about is possibly up to 11,000 jobs, according to one study I've seen, that could be produced in South Carolina from offshore winds. What we're talking about is taking the concept of blue-collar jobs, of people doing work with their hands. What we generally think of is real work, and doing stuff that is green, that is good for the environment. Green-collar jobs mean doing renewable energy, like biomass, like wind, like installing solar. It means installing energy efficiency in buildings and homes, all the things that are good for the environment and keep workers occupied and busy and well-paying jobs as well.
Lonnie Carter, Santee Cooper's president and CEO, addressed their commitment to renewable energy and the possibilities of wind energy.
Santee Cooper's board adopted a policy almost about 16 months ago to get 40% of our energy from non-greenhouse gas emitting resources, biomass facilities, conservation, and renewables. Santee Cooper today is teamed up with the Coastal Carolina University, the State Energy Office, to do an offshore wind study using buoys like the one behind us. We'll have 3 in a row off of Georgetown County and 3 in a row off of Horry County near Wadey's Island to actually help us do what we call map the wind over the next 12 months that's offshore. And about 6 months into that study, Santee Cooper's committed to, at its own expense, putting up another tower, much like we've done onshore, a tower offshore, based on the data that we get from these buoys, to determine if there is wind offshore that will make wind energy commercially viable for us.
Dr. Paul Gaze of Coastal Carolina University.
It's a grand opportunity. All these efforts where Coastal's particularly good at this, where students are able to participate directly on real-world projects. Clearly it already has an immediate, deeper meaning to them. They see the application, they also see other professionals in the outside world with Santee Cooper and the Energy Office and other universities that they can meet directly, and so that's just a tremendous amplification on the education process.
Currently, no power company in America is generating offshore wind energy. Santee Cooper is the only public power company working alongside leading state scientists to prove the viability of offshore wind as a source of renewable energy. The project is squarely in line with Santee Cooper's goal to provide 40% of our energy by 2020 through non-greenhouse gas emitting resources, biomass fuels, conservation, and energy efficiency. Visit SanteeCooperGreen.com for more information about this and other resources for Living Green. Living Green from Santee Cooper Green.